simple carbs, sugars, flours, things that have been shown over generations to narrow the skull, narrow the bite. I mean, how many of us haven't had braces?
Yeah, it's true.
And back in the day, I mean, a lot of people that lived tribally and ate their cultural and tribal diets, all their teeth grew in straight and not crooked. So their bites were larger, wider. And I'm sure a lot of your audience is familiar with Weston Price and his work. But he is really the one that showed through his research and through the pictures and through his generational research in tribal communities. Here in the United States, I believe he traveled to every Native American tribe in the United States. Wow. He traveled throughout Africa, and he took pictures of people that were still sort of living like they had before, and he took pictures of them living either reservation life or living now where they were being fed white sugar and flour, and their skulls are thinner, narrower, their bites are not well, and they have breathing disorder because the upper airway is right behind your nose going into your throat. That's right at the back of the palate. Yeah. And so if the head is narrowing, then the palate is narrowing and the bite is narrowing. The teeth can't all get space, so they grow in crooked. Right. And we have that high, narrow palate, which in the back is going to constrict the airway. Huh. So now you can't breathe through your nose.
Right.
And breathing through your nose is vitally important for brain health, hormonal health, sleep, relaxation. And I would say we have an epidemic of sleep apnea.
Yeah.
Again,
it's true. It's unbelievable.
From poor structure, cranial structure that you may not even had any choice over, right? Because your mother and your grandmother have been eating poor diets since post-World War II era. Lots of sugar, lots of white flour. And we know that Northern Europeans and Europeans in general have also been eating like that for a very long time.
True.
And this is why, Latin cultures and Native American cultures and, African tribal, when they're introduced to these foods, we know what happens, right? True. And so as like European ancestry, we've had this going on a long time. So, probably poor nasal breathing and etc. And I have there's a great book called Land of the Spotted Eagle by Luther Standing Bear, and he was one of the first Native Americans. He was in the Buffalo Bill, Wild Buffalo Bill show, in the early 1900s, and he remembers living in the plains as a Sioux Native, and he wrote a book called Land of the Spotted Eagle, and in there he talks about every life stage: children, marriage, adulthood, war, their spiritual practices. It's a great book. And if you want to learn about health, it's a great book. In there, he talks about how the white men all have this problem like anemia. They're all anemic, and they're all depressed, and they all have mental health issues. Things they never saw in Native American culture. Never saw anemia, never saw mental health disorders, didn't know what anxiety or depression were, and these were very common within the white culture.
Yeah.
Now, if you take that to diet, you probably translate that into, he also said they had very poor diets. They were eating lots of processed food. And again, he saw this happening to his native peers and himself as they started eating, were put on reservations and were eating poor food. So you start to see, one, addiction, but then you start to see poor structural issues and fetal alcohol syndrome.
And that goes to the next generation.
Goes to the next generation.